transition into our last and our final section, which is our topic of the week. And our topic of the week is, what is your favorite arc of Dragon Ball? Now, by Dragon Ball, we are referring to Dragon Ball from Dragon Ball to Z. We're not going to include Super since Super is still going.
Oh, what,
So,
dude? That was my favorite. I'm kidding.
yeah, funny guy. So yeah, TJ, if you don't mind, go ahead. What was your favorite arc of Dragon Ball?
I had a toss up, but I'm gonna just go with King Piccolo arc from Dragon Ball. I mean, like Kid Goku. I said that because the other one I would have chosen you may have chosen it too. Or it may have been like in at least in your top 5, and I know it'd be for a lot of people. But the reason why I like the King Piccolo arc is because it's somewhat of a turning point in the Dragon Ball manga, because this is fresh off Goku winning his first tournament against Tien, right? Tien Shinhan, right? He beats Tien. They're out celebrating. Krillin, after dinner, like Krillin goes back to the Tenkaichi Budokai location because they lost, like they forgot something or whatever. But Krillin ends up getting murdered by King Piccolo's underlings, and it like kicks off this whole arc. But it's like, this might be the first like significant death to Goku. This is the first time you see Goku like absolutely pissed, like to the point of rage. If I recall correctly, like it's not quite Super Saiyan, not quite Kaioken, but this is the first time I want to say I saw his hair like spike up. He was so angry. This is Goku like 12, 14 years old, but it definitely drew a line, and it became a turning point for the manga, in my opinion, because yes, you know, obviously you can get the Dragon Balls wish somebody back to life, but like I don't think the Dragon Balls were really used back then that way. It was just, I like that arc, and like Goku has to level up, and this is where Goku starts training with Kami to then defeat the scourge that is King Piccolo, right? Well, I mean, he starts training with Kami even like to deal with like Piccolo, who was like Demon King Jr., right, at the time. But I want to say that's one of my favorite arcs, in all honesty. How about you, Matt?
This was a bit of a tough one for me, but which I know you might be surprised by, and I think I might actually surprise you with the arc that I picked. And the arc that I picked was the Saiyan Saga.
Yeah, I can see that with you. We've had talks about this one. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, not the Saiyan Saga as it relates to Raditz, but the arrival of Vegeta and Nappa. And I say this because Z, first of all, what I like the most about Z, before I get into this specific arc, because it's still a pretty early arc in Z anyway. The thing I will say that I like the most about this is stakes are higher now.
Yeah.
Like when other Saiyans are introduced, and these are Saiyans that seemingly are more powerful than Goku and understand their powers more, and they don't have any of those weaknesses that we saw with Raditz, like getting grabbed by the tail. It was different. And they couldn't even get to the main guy. They couldn't get past Nappa.
Yeah.
And you know, them waiting on this promise of Goku, like, you know, the whole thing where it's like, all right, well, we're gonna wait for Goku to get here. You guys got this amount of time. Nappa gets restless and he's like, well, Vegeta, you know, like, what am I finna go do to him? Like, what do you mean we finna wait for this guy? Go entertain yourself. They have to stand there and watch Nappa. The first thing he does is he jumps in the sky and he rips a plane in half. He doesn't grab it. He just cuts
right through it. Yeah.
He blows up a city. He starts terrorizing local towns. Essentially, this guy just decides to start terrorizing the planet until Goku comes back. And they're all forced to do nothing because none of them are a match for him anyway. And this guy is taking orders from the little guy.
Yeah.
And that guy is very clearly stronger than him.
Yeah.
They got that feeling about Vegeta. And just, it was just the stakes of all of it, man, because it was like Goku lost that fight, man.
Yeah.
Goku took a L. Like, where they ended up having to get this man back in that ship, and obviously, we know what this all eventually becomes with Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta coming back and rejoining the team. But I just thought it was like the stakes were raised because these guys are planet busters. Like the Saiyans, they just come to collect the planet and pass it off. And it a lot of seeds were sown in that arc, and a lot of things were not seeds were sown, but a lot of seeds were planted in that arc that we do see come, kind of come back around full circle when they go to Namek, and even in the ways of like in the Buu saga, even in the Cell saga, like things from this kind of reverberate. We never see Nappa again, but that was the point in which Vegeta starts to become a more important character, because he's the in Z, he's the first reoccurring villain they have in Z.
Yeah.
Nobody else comes back in Z. Raditz is dead. Raditz, and that was the other thing. It was like the first time they saw a Saiyan, it took the sacrifice of Goku to beat one Saiyan. And this guy, if you grabbed him by the tail, it stopped him. Piccolo grabbed Nappa by the tail, and Nappa almost punched his brain out the front of his head. It was like it's one of the most insane panels you'll ever see. If you've never seen that panel of Nappa punching Piccolo in the back of his head, it is crazy. Oh my God. But yeah, I almost went with the Cell Saga.
Yeah, that was why it was a toss-up. I was gonna put Cell Saga too, but I was
almost went with the Cell Saga, but I went against it just because of it's some other stupid shit that happens in the Cell Saga that I just absolutely do not agree with personally. So
but
yeah, man, my answer would be the Saiyan Saga once, when they deal with Goku. I mean, when they deal with Nappa and Vegeta.
Yeah. That's solid, man. I appreciate that. Well, I think that's gonna do